Have you ever looked at the stats of business failures? They are quite scary, enough to put you off from going into business in the first place. So it's really important that you understand what's happening here and why businesses fail. In this training, I'll go through the top 3 reasons they found for those businesses failing and show you how you can then avoid that happening in your business. So not only can you survive, but you can thrive and you don't become part of the stats. So let's get into it. I'll start by first getting into those stats to show you those failure rates. Then we'll go through the 3 things. So come along with me. Let's go. Okay, let's look at the stats of business failures. These stats come from the Bureau of Labour in the States, which gives us a much bigger sample size. It's the same here in Australia or in the UK. It's all very similar when you look at the different studies. Now, the key thing to note here is that by year 5, it shows that 50%, half of the businesses have gone that was started 5 years before that. Even at 3 years, it's 34%. So that's a huge number that just don't make it very far. If you were going to jump off a plane with a parachute and they said, well, we've got a 50% chance of that parachute opening, you wouldn't queue up to go on the plane, would you? Business is really an elite sport. And I often say it's an elite sport for the mind. To make it work, you're going to have to work very hard. The odds are stacked against you and you need to beat the odds to win. Now, if you win big. But it's going to be tough. There's going to be things you need to do and learn that you don't know now. Now, I'm a great believer that at the end of the day, no one's taught how to run a business. Our schooling system is set up to pump out useful employees, not business owners. And when you go into your own business, and I'm sure you know this from your own experience, you've suddenly got a lot on your plate and a lot of things you need to learn. And you need to get across those key things, and that's what will help you beat these odds. And that's where you can look at the 3 top reasons of why these businesses fail. And you can see from here the things that you need to learn to stop that happening in your business. Just before we move on to the first reason, I'll focus on the 10-year stat as well, which 70% of businesses have gone in 10 years. So if your business is already over 5 years old, you're beating the market already. You've done better than most people would have done already. Scary, I know. And often when people come to me and they want to start a business, I go, are you sure? You do need to be the right type of person to make a business work. And I found in 20 years of coaching, the people that are successful are the ones that will get up again, even when they get knocked down. So they keep getting up again and keep going. It's perseverance that really wins. Perseverance mixed with learning. So learning from your mistakes, growing and going again. You need that right mentality to be able to make it work in business, and that's because the odds are not in your favor. So let's get into it though. Let's look at the first reason that businesses fail. Now let's get into the first reason why businesses fail, and this is a lack of financial control. And no, I didn't make this up. This was the first one that they found. I haven't just picked this one because I'm an accountant and love numbers. It is the number 1 reason why businesses fail. Is because they have a lack of control of their finances and cash flow, and they run out of cash. Running out of cash is a bit of a symptom of a broken business, but it does show that you need to have some understanding of your numbers. You need to have good financial control in your business. Now, this is obviously an area that's important to me, or that I'm passionate about. I'll just turn it back to me. So I'm just using my spare computer at the moment because I managed to pour some liquid on my other one and it doesn't like it apparently. So it's had to go to the repair shop. I thought it was thirsty. So I'm on my spare computer, so it's not set up exactly how I'm used to it set up. But the key thing from a numbers point of view is you as a business owner. You don't need to be an accountant. You don't need to be like me. But you do need some understanding of your numbers. As I always teach, numbers are the language of business. They show you what's working and what's not. And there's probably three key things that you need in your business as a business owner, or you need to know and understand in your business as a business owner around your numbers. The first one has been across your profit. So knowing each day, week, month and year if you're making a profit or not, if you're covering your costs, if you're above break even. So to do that, you need to understand your margins, your fixed costs, your break even. You need a budget and a forecast. Then you also need to then be across your cash flows. The next area is then cash flow. So there's two parts of that really you need to be across. One is to have a simple cash flow forecast, which shows and helps you manage your cash going forward. So if you know that, okay, I've got cash problems coming in, you can do something about it, move cash around, and also then use that to manage your cash. So put money aside so you've got money to pay your tax, your super, your PAYG, you've got money aside for profit, for stock orders that are coming up so that you don't run out of cash. So you need to understand that and have that set up. And then you need to work on controlling your cash gaps and just making sure your cash is flowing around your business properly. So that means, okay, how quickly are people paying me? When am I getting the money in? When's the money going out? How can I delay the money going out? How can I speed the money coming in? That's basically it. And are we self-funding? Do we need money to fund? So if you cross those from a cash flow point of view and across that as a profit point of view, you're laughing. Then you need to be able to just review the data on a regular basis and have the right support in place. Having a good accountant, a good bookkeeper. Don't do your own bookkeeping. I know some of you doing your own bookkeeping. Get a bookkeeper now. Save your time, save your energy, and potentially get some decent numbers and stay compliant. But you need a good bookkeeper, you need a good accountant, and then you need some good daily, weekly, and monthly reports that just show you the key numbers that you as a business owner need to look at, which is obviously your sales, your gross profit, any key KPIs from that, average dollar sale, conversion rates, that type of thing. So you have to work out what that is in your business, but you need to have a basic understanding of your numbers and then have the right support in place to help you manage that so that you don't fall foul of the number one reason why business fail, and that's a lack of financial management. You need to educate yourself a little bit so that you can stay across that. All right, cool. Let's go into reason number 2. Okay, let's go into reason number 2. And reason number 2 is a lack of sales and growth. I've got number 4 there, and I'm the numbers guy, and I've got the wrong number on there. But it's number 2, not number 4. And this is really a lack of sales. So a lack of sales in a business will obviously make the business die in the end. So you need to understand as a business owner how to market and sell your product or service, and what to do if there's not a good market fit between your product and service and customers. So there's kind of 3 key things you need to focus on around that to help this not be the reason why your business fails. So the key things you need to focus on here is, first and foremost, you need to make sure that you're set up to deliver your product and service in a consistent way with good quality and good customer care. That way, then when you do increase your sales, you don't fall over yourself, and you're making sure you're providing a product or service that the market wants. Sometimes you've got a good idea of what the market wants, but it doesn't quite work. So you need to make sure it works. You need a proof of concept. You need to see people using your product and service with positive feedback and willing to pay you money for it. Then you need to look at, okay, how do I now scale this to get more sales? And that's where you need to dive into your marketing. And as a business owner, you need to understand digital marketing. Again, you don't need to be an expert, but you do need to understand the basics, how to set up a good website, how to do what's the key principles of Google Ads, Meta Ads, what's the key principles of social media, email marketing, all those types of things that are going to help you market your business so that you can drive sales and you can grow the business. Then you need to look at the sales side of things as well, especially if you're a sales type business. You need to make sure you have got a good sales process and sales team in place if you need it. So there are the three key things you need to focus on to stop this being a potential issue for your business. And these are the fundamentals, all these things that I'm teaching you here that come from the three big reasons why people fail are the fundamentals that you need to learn. It's everything I teach on this channel. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel because you're going to get loads more free training from this. It's also everything I do when I work with clients too. But that's the key thing from a sales and marketing point of view, to make sure that you continue to get growth and to make sure things are happening properly. One other thing as well, just add one other thing in delivery process. It's important you obviously get that set up so you're operating properly, because I have seen businesses where they do drive sales, but then they can't deliver. And then they fall over because they can't deliver. And that's why the delivery part is important before you scale up with marketing and sales. But that's what you need to do there. So let's go back and look at the third reason of why businesses fail. The third reason of why businesses fail is they have a lack of management and leadership skills, which is very important if you want to grow the business. Your business is often limited by the amount of good people you can bring on board and manage and lead. But if you don't have those managementship and leadership skills, then you're going to fall over. And what tends to happen is that often business owners are good at what they do. That's why they start their own business. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're good at then leading and managing people. So they're good at the technical work of the business. This is the E-Myth. If you've not read that book, it's a great book. But you're a technician turned business owner. So you're good at what you do. So you go out on your own and start a business doing it. Then you start to get busy, so you employ people. But employing or managing and leading people is a very different skill set than doing the technical work of your business. I've got a client at the moment and he's going through this exact pain point. He's got issues in his business. He's just come on board. We're trying to turn the business around, and all he's doing is itching to get back on the tools and do the technical work of the business, because he knows he'll get it done and he knows they'll earn money, but he can't, or he's struggling to manage and lead his team. And that's why it's important that you learn those skill sets too. And there's three key areas that you need to be across as the owner to help you do that. The first is having some systems set up in your business. And they only need to be basic. And all I'm talking about here is really having an organizational chart. So boxes on a page which shows the roles you need to fill in your business. Then having a position description which just lists down the tasks or key responsibilities for each role in your business. That's you getting organized, because all you're doing is a big to-do list for your business that you're then putting in different boxes for different people to do. Now, it might be at this stage you don't have those people in those boxes, but once you're ready to employ them, then go, okay, here's a chunk of tasks that I'm going to give this person to do. And it's about getting organized. There's a few things you need to do on that, but that's the systems part. That's the start of the systems part you need to be across. The next thing then is management. So you need to not just learn management, but have that process set up in your business. So management starts with recruitment processes. So have you got a good recruitment process in place? Do you know how to do an interview, how to write a job ad, where to post it, how to shortlist, how to check references? Have you got a process for that? Set that up. An induction process. So what happens when somebody comes on board? What's the process you go through to get them up to speed as quickly as you can? Then we go into managing them. So that's team meetings, team training, one-on-ones, annual reviews to keep them on track and keep them going. And then there's managing poor performance. So turnaround meetings, disciplinary, and termination if you need to. So you need to have those systems set up in your business, and you as the owner need to learn how to deal with that. So you need to get good at interviewing. You need to get good at one-on-ones. You need to get good at dealing with problems when they arise. This will help you build the team and move that forward. And the other thing is leadership. And leadership is different than management. Management is day-to-day stuff. Leadership is more inspiration. It's more you being able to inspire people and motivate people beyond doing just a job to be able to work for you. And these are skill sets that you as a business owner need to learn, which will then massively help you avoid this issue in your business and ultimately build a team who can do the work instead of you. Otherwise, what happens is you get stuck doing the work, getting the work, doing the work, getting the work, running around with a few helpers maybe, but you get burnt out. And that's why a lot of those businesses fail, because they can't build a team and they burn themselves out. So don't let that be you, and work on your team as well. I hope you found that useful. Please take that away and implement it in your business so you can be successful and not be one of those failure stats. And if you do want more help, this is what my videos are on my YouTube channel. They teach these fundamental principles of being successful in your business. So make sure you subscribe and watch those videos. I release a video every couple of weeks like this, and shorts virtually every day. Also, this is what I do in my coaching. So I work with businesses to help them implement these strategies into their business to help massively improve their odds of being successful. I'm not some guru who's going to sit here going, I'm going to 10 times your business in 10 minutes. I'm going to teach you some principles and implement them that will help you massively improve your odds of being successful. No one can promise you success in business. But yeah, please, any questions, comment below. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Cheers.